also fighting at UFC 200 is TJ Dillashaw. He faces Raphael Assuncao in a very important fight in the bantamweight division. He's joining us on the phone right now. TJ, are you there?
Yes, I am. How's it going?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you very much for the time. So, you are fighting at UFC 200. You're fighting Raphael Assuncao. I know you didn't get the title shot. You wanted that title shot at 199, but getting to fight on a card like this, was this the next best thing? Was this a pretty good consolation prize?
Absolutely, man. I mean, if I wasn't fighting Cruz, Assuncao was Assuncao was the matchup I wanted, and obviously UFC 200, you can't really beat that. You know, it's the biggest card in history, and it's going to be cool to be a part of it.
And of course, you fought Assuncao. He was the last guy prior to the Cruz fight to beat you, although it was a very close fight. Some people think that you even won that fight. Did you even watch? Like I know we're 9 days away, but are you focusing on that fight a lot because you've been in there with him, or do you think you're a completely different fighter from then? Oh, we may have lost him. Okay, we're going to call him right back.
Transferring you over to my truck. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Now we got you.
All right, sorry about that. I transferred you over to my truck. But I definitely have gone back and watched that fight. You know, I'm a way better fighter than I was 3 years ago. I've made big improvements, and I plan on showing that, you know, how much more dynamic I am as a fighter. And I'm just really excited. You know, I'm really excited about it.
Have you been told that if you win this fight, you're next for Cruz?
You can't ever know what the UFC is going to plan on doing. You know, I went and met with the main guys after that fight with Cruz, and you know, to have them sit there and both tell me that I won that fight, and then for them not to give it to me, is kind of crazy. So you never know what's going to happen, but I would imagine so. You know, I would imagine that the winner of me and Assuncao would get that fight. It makes the most sense. We're ranked number 1 and 2. You know, I had a fight with Cruz that I feel I won. It was a very close fight, and he looked very good. So I would imagine that would be what's going to happen. And if not, I'll be pretty frustrated, you know. But we'll have to wait and see, because you never know. They can pretty much do whatever they want, it seems like.
Sure. And so after being told that by them, after meeting with them and not getting the title fight, how long, and maybe that hasn't happened yet, I'm wondering how long it took to get the bad taste out of your mouth, like to get over that frustration and then focus on the next fight? Or are you keeping that frustration with you going into this fight?
No, you gotta let it go. You know, I mean, you gotta love what you do. You can't be frustrated all the time. I mean, life's too short to be pissed off, you know. So obviously I was mad, I was frustrated. You know, I've trained really hard for to have that belt, and especially when I still think it's mine. But you gotta let that stuff go, because I gotta concentrate on the Assuncao. I have a very tough opponent in front of me. You know, he's a tough kid, so I gotta worry about him and getting past him first.
Did you watch the Faber Cruz fight?
I did. Yes, I did.
What'd you think of it?
That's kind of how I expected it to go down. You know, I knew that Cruz's footwork and feints and movement was going to be too much for Faber. He's a very flat-footed fighter, and you know, hasn't been making any gains. He's kind of been the same fighter for the last 10 years, and you know, I knew that Cruz was going to pick him apart.
Do you think that's it for his title shots at this point? That he'll just never get the UFC belt now?
Yeah, I definitely don't think he's going to get the belt. He might get another shot. Who knows? I don't really know. You know, I mean, he's going to have to work his way back up, which I think is going to be really hard in this division. And you got a lot of tough kids in the weight class. I always call them kids, but grown men. And yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be tough for him to get back up there. You know, he's towards the end of his career, and I think he's already done the right things to look at what he should do next. You know, I mean, he's already set himself up pretty, and he's a smart guy when it comes to business.
It was kind of crazy to see, like, up until the press conference the Thursday before the fight, you were still a big part of that story. Your name was being mentioned all over the place. Was that a trip for you as well, to see you being talked about so much and not involved in the fight?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, I kind of feel like Urijah has been building his name off of me the last couple of years, ever since I won the belt. And then with me and Dwayne and the whole Ultimate Fighter thing with Connor, and it's just been kind of bad-mouthing me to make him a little more relevant, you know. It was a little bit unfortunate, because I thought we were friends, man. I thought we were good friends, and just because I followed a coach that I felt has made my career better, left a bad taste in his mouth, and it's just unfortunate the way everything went down, you know. I mean, kind of crazy, actually. Very childish.
Were you rooting for him though? Because that's a money fight at this point, you versus him. Maybe even in the new Sacramento arena that's opening up. Were you rooting for him to win that fight, regardless of what had been said?
Not really, man. Which is crazy for me to say that, because I didn't think there was any time in my life ever that I'd be not only rooting against Faber, but especially against Cruz. But he just crossed the line, man. He stepped the boundaries of stuff he said and the kind of person he became. And like I said, it was real childish and actually kind of hurt my feelings, man.
Wow.
I mean, I really don't feel like I've done anything to deserve it. Just because I'm training elsewhere and following my career and what I think is best for myself. It was kind of crazy for him to badmouth me, and then also for him to come out with some outlandish shit to say that me and Cruz were on PEDs, and that's badmouthing my career. That's putting a bad taste in people's mouth about my name, and that kind of crossed the line with me.
So, have you tried to reach out to him privately to end all this?
No, not at all.
Do you have any interest?
Not at all. At this point, no. I don't feel like it's my. Everyone's got their own story. He probably believes something else, but I don't feel like it's my fault to go out and to apologize and to say anything about what needs to be done. I feel that I'm hoping he's feeling that he's done the wrong. But who knows?
Maybe not to apologize, but just be like, look, let's just stop talking about each other. Or maybe let's just try to clear the air here and get on the same page. No sorries, but you have no interest in doing that at this point and even talking to him.
I haven't thought about it, no.
Okay. You're in Colorado now, right?
Yeah.
I did see you for a little bit training at TriStar in Montreal. How did that come about?
It's awesome experience, man. TriStar is an amazing gym, amazing athletes up there. A lot of guys my weight class. Faraz is an awesome coach. My management also manages George St. Pierre, and so I've been wanting to go up there and cross-train for a while now, and finally had a little bit of downtime to where I could do it, and I want to continue to do so. There's some great minds up there and a lot of great training partners, so I really believe in cross-training. I really believe in learning as much as you possibly can as a martial artist, and they're very welcoming up there, and really great place, man. I loved it a lot. So
wow.
You'll see me up there again.
So will any of those coaches be in your corner on July 9th?
No, not for this fight, no. I went up there. I was only up there for a couple weeks. I was up there from when I was 10 weeks out to 8 weeks, so I came back here and did the rest of my camp here. For us to be a great guy to have in the corner, he's just so smart, but he's a busy guy, and then I got my set coaches down here as well,
Yeah. Is Colorado starting to feel like home at this point for you?
It is, man. It's been a wonderful place. It's real beautiful out here. All the guys they're awesome. Coaches are even better. Elevation Fight team's growing like crazy, and I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm glad to see this team grow with me being here. And it's been a fun experience. Muscle Farms giving us every opportunity to become a great team. And we're gonna have we already have guys, but we're gonna continue to grow and have top guys in the UFC. We got Neil Magny, Matt Brown, Drew Dover. We got a lot of guys. Chris Camozzi comes in and trains with us. So we got a lot of guys and guys you don't even know about that are gonna hit the scene soon and continue to make a better and better team.
Do you take any lessons that you learned from Alpha Male to this new camp? Do you find yourself being a bit of a captain because you were a part of that team for so long, and maybe you don't want the same thing to happen to you, now, or to others now that did back then? Or is there anything that you're taking from that experience over to this new one?
Oh, absolutely, man. I learned tons from Alpha Male. Obviously, that's where mainly my career started. I learned to have fun there. I learned to enjoy what we do as a living. Trying to pass off as much as possible. I probably still need to do a better job of being a captain and being a leader. But I don't like to make myself feel higher up than anybody else either. You got to lead by example. But I think ultimately just try to have fun. Like I said, this life is very short. This career is even shorter, and I got to have fun with it. And so if I can rub off on the guys at all and try to joke around and have some fun, then I think that's the best thing you can do. I think that was one of the greatest things about Alpha Male was the fact is, we just had so much fun doing it. We're always in practice having a great time, and it makes it not feel like work when you're having such a good time and joking around with all the guys. They have a great family there in Sacramento, and when Dwayne came, I felt like we had the full package. We had a great team, great friends, and a great coach. But when Dwayne left, nothing was really fixed until recently. I feel like they're finally stepping up and fixing some holes in their game and getting some good coaches, as in Justin Buckles and Danny Castillo and those guys. But I think ultimately the best thing I've learned from them was, to enjoy this whole process. Have a smile on your face in the locker room. Have a smile on your face when you're getting ready to fight. Just enjoy it.
The division that you're in, 135, in my opinion, it may not have like the most money makers, but it's the most stacked as far as young, great, up and coming fighters. Are you worried at all that anyone, is threatening? Because for a while it felt like, okay, you win this next fight, you're getting that title shot. There's no one else, but Cody Garbrandt, a guy you know very well, has done well as of late. He has another fight coming up. Are you seeing anyone challenging you for getting that next title shot, or do you think it's pretty clear cut? If you win this fight decisively, there'll be no denying you?
I mean, the way I see it, I definitely think whoever wins this fight gets the title shot. In a sense, which is going to be me. It's going to be me after this. After July 9th, I should definitely be getting that title shot. At least that's the way I see it. The weight class is very good. Very, very, very stacked guys, and I'm excited about it. It's exciting to have a weight class at 135 is just going to be well known. Hopefully these guys are going to be money makers soon. The more and more stacked it's going to get, the more challenging it's going to become. The greater fights are going to be there, and we'll start getting paid more.
What do you make of what's happened to Cody? His evolution. Did you see this coming? Did you see him turning into this great fighter?
Oh, he's always been good, man. He's fast. He hits hard. I think he's kind of a little one-dimensional. He's a good fighter. He's got good wrestling. But if you watch his style, all he really got is he just bum rushes you with hooks. Kind of like the Vanderlei style, Vanderlei punches. He's good. He's athletic. I knew he was going to make his way up the ranks in the UFC. He's doing a good job.
How do you think he would do against a Dominic Cruz?
I think Dominic's got too much movement for him. He's too well-rounded. Cody would be too easy to game plan for. Like I said, he has to run at you and throw hands. Every combo you see him hit is pretty much throwing overhands or hooks, sprinting at you. It was not the most technical, but it's very athletic and fast. But I think Cruz would be too smart for him, cut too many angles, and outpoint him.
And would you have? At some point, I could see you guys fighting. Do you have any issues of fighting him?
No, not at all. This is definitely a sport. I got no bad blood with the guy. I think he talks a little bit of crap and he likes to lie a little bit. He supposedly has said that he's knocked me out in practice, which is a complete lie because I've never been knocked out in practice, especially by him. Talking about like gym wars and stuff. And then the whole deal with me moving out here and him talking crap about it was kind of crazy because he was one of the first guys talking about moving out here with me. I have a full-on long text message with him and Leister of talking about moving out to Colorado and how much better it'd be to train out here. And then, some bad-mouthing happens on me, and he instantly switches his mind and says that he's alpha male bred, and that's one place he's going to stay, So he's young, he's easily influenced, and he'll bad-mouth me here and there, but I think it's just to sell his name.
Okay, and Dominic, even on Friday, Rampage Jackson won, and he was talking about ring rust being a real thing. And Dominic's one of those guys, one of the few guys that talks about ring rust not being a thing and overcoming it. This will be Assuncao's first fight in almost 2 years, a little less than 2 years. Do you believe that ring rust is a thing, and do you think it will affect him? Like, will we see a lesser version of Assuncao just because he hasn't fought in so long?
Man, I think it all comes down to how mentally tough you are. Cruz is a mentally tough guy. He's had to deal with a lot of adversity. He's still coming back, so he's proven how mentally tough he is. Ring rust only affects you if you let it affect you, I think. If you go in there with some confidence and the way I step into the cage every time, I don't think it's going to really matter, I've had those sparring practices. I've had those pushes in practice to where, you shouldn't have ring rust. You're getting that timing in. You're doing that whole deal. I guess the only thing is learning how to deal with the nerves. I do feel that I've grown as a fighter, and I don't think Assuncao has, and we're going to see that.
How much do you miss that belt? Just being a champion, just having that bullseye on you, seeing the belt in your house, like knowing that you're the top guy. How much does that bother you that you're not that, and how much do you miss it, if at all?
It definitely bothers me. I feel like I worked so hard to get what I got. I felt like I won the fight. Obviously, it was, like I've said before, it was very close. So it's tough. It's a tough one to swallow, but it keeps me hungry. You know, if I didn't care, then I wouldn't be hungry to get it back. And that hunger is definitely going to get me back. That title shot definitely get me back to having that gold wrapped around my waist. And I just got to envision it happening every day.
This is your first fight, not in a title fight in quite some time. Your first fight since the January fight. Does it feel different at all? Does anything feel different in terms of your mental state, your preparation, anything at all? Obviously, you're not fighting in the main event, and it's not a title fight. But do you feel that it's at all different within you?
Within me, no. You know, I put just as much pressure on every fight, and I go in there. Got to expect the best out of every opponent. You know, I got to be on my toes and be ready. But I have had to deal with a lot less. You know, there's not as much media on this. There's not as much talking about me moving camps and all the bull crap that came behind the Conor McGregor and the Ultimate Fighter. You know, there's been a lot less of me dealing with that. But inside of myself, I've kind of handled it the same. I put the same pressure on myself, and it gets you excited. You know, I live for this, man. I live for these nerves. I live for the lights, and I just can't wait for July 9th.
That must be a welcome change, right? To sort of fly under the radar going into this fight and not deal with all that other stuff?
Yeah, man, it's very nice. You know, I didn't have to do a countdown show. I didn't have to do all the social media. You know, I know that stuff gets your name out there and making you more money in the long run, but it's definitely a nice change, you know? It's nice to just focus on getting better.
Has the snake stuff, has that gone away a little bit? Has that, on social media, has that sort of subsided?
It's still there.
Oh.
You know, it'll always be there. The more and more you build your name, you're always going to have people that are going to want to talk crap about you, and they got fans. I mean, Conor McGregor's got a lot of fans, you know, and the world of MMA, I feel like it's almost like WWE, if you'd say, you know, the same kind of fans, and they like the drama.
They do.
You know, and I got to embrace it. It is what it is. You're either going to agree with my decision, you're not going to know about my decision, or you're gonna hate it. So, you know, just gotta deal with it.
Yeah. Well, much respect to you, man. You're handling it with class, and I appreciate you coming on. And I'm looking forward. Like you said, this one's been flying under the radar. Perhaps a testament to how stacked, so to speak, that card is. You're fighting on the prelims. Are you surprised that you're on the prelims, or are you okay with that? How do you feel about that?
I'm fine with it. I mean, the card is so stacked, man.
Yeah.
We got some Hall of Famers in there. We got Frankie Edgar, Jose Aldo, as the third to last fight. You know, we got 3 title fights there. One of the biggest stars ever, John Jones, is fighting. I mean, Brock Lesnar's coming back. So, it's expected to be on the prelims. I'm not really too worried about it. You know, I mean, more people will get to watch my fight. It'll be on FX. It'll be on free TV. So, all I can really do is continue to put on a show and hopefully create some fans of my fighting style, because I feel like I'm out there to put on a show and to fight and look for that knockout. I don't think I've ever had a boring fight, and the more people that get to see that, hopefully the more fans I create. And, I hope you guys enjoy the show.
Well, one of the most interesting parts of the fight game for me is seeing how a champion responds after that title loss, seeing what he does to prove that he's still the man, and just seeing how a fighter responds. You can learn a lot about a fighter. I'm looking forward to seeing how you respond on July 9th. Appreciate the time very much. Can't wait for this fight. It's the fight that needed to be made, in my opinion, if you weren't getting the title fight, and obviously looking forward to seeing how you respond on that very big stage. So best of luck to you, TJ. Thank you for the time again. We'll see you out there in Las Vegas.
Absolutely, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, there he is, TJ Dillashaw, the former UFC bantamweight champion, fighting on July 9th on the FS1 prelims, UFC 200 at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada.